Hi, good morning to one and all. In previous class, we discussed number of problems regarding calculation of torque, diameter, power, and angle of twist. Okay, for shafts of uniform cross section. Okay, now in this section, I am going to explain compound shafts. Okay, compound shaft is nothing but a shaft is made up of different materials or with different diameters. Okay, observe. Compound shafts are shafts made up of a number of small shafts of different cross sections or different materials connected to form a composite shaft to transmit or a resistance to the torque applied. Okay, in some cases we need to reduce the weight of the material or length, or for strength consideration we use compound shafts. In compound shafts mainly divided into two types, that is parallel shafts and series. Coming to shafts in series. Okay, the difference between the series and parallel is mainly in two fields, that is torque and angle of twist. Okay, coming to shafts in series. In order to form a composite shaft, sometimes a number of small shafts of different cross sections or of different materials shafts are connected in series. Okay, to analyze these shafts, first torque resisted by each portion is found and then individual effects are clubbed. Okay, so that for suppose a compound shaft consists of three different diameters and three different materials, so that we need to calculate torque and angular twist in each section. After that we will combine all these parameters, will get the required amount of torque and angle of twist. Okay, at fixed end, torque of required magnitude develops to keep the shaft in equilibrium. Okay, at fixed end, torque or required magnitude develops to keep the shaft in equilibrium. The torque developed at the ends of any portion are equal and opposite. Suppose whatever the amount of we are applying torque, the same amount of torque will develop at the fixed end but in opposite direction. Okay, the angle of twist is sum of the angle of twist of the shafts connected in series. Okay, the torque can be calculated by adding the torque developed in different shafts. Okay, it is in series condition. Observe, it is the compound shaft. The shaft is in series condition. Okay, it is the shaft AB and BC. The total shaft is connected at point A. It is fixed. At point C is free. Okay, we are applying an amount of torque at the free end. Okay, for this condition, T1 is equals to T2. Okay, whatever the amount of torque is applying at the free end, the same amount of torque will develop at B and A. But at A, it will be opposite in direction because it is a reaction. It will give some reaction to the applied force. Okay, so that the torque developed in first shaft is equals to torque developed in second shaft. Okay, next coming to total angle of twist. Total angle of twist is theta is equals to theta 1 plus theta 2. Okay, here the theta value will change in shaft 1 and 2. Okay, we need to calculate the total angle of twist by substituting the values in 1 and 2, so that Okay, now calculate the value of theta so that the angle of twist developed in first of that is TL1 G1 J1 plus angle of twist developed in shaft 2 that is TL2 by G2 J2. Okay, by adding these quantities we will get the total angle of twist in the compound shaft. Okay, like this we will calculate the torque and angle of twist developed in the compound shaft when it is in series condition. Okay, next coming to shafts in parallel. Okay, the shafts are said to be in parallel when the driving torque is applied at the junction of the shafts, and the resisting torque is at the other ends of the shafts. Okay, here the angle of twist is same for each shaft. The angle of twist is same for each shaft, but the applied torque is shared between the two shafts. Okay, it is opposite to the series condition. In series condition, the angle of twist is summation of angle of twist developed in shaft 1 and 2. The torque is equal in shaft 1 and 2, but in case of parallel, the angle of twist developed is same in both cases, but the torque is summation of torque developed in first shaft and second shaft. Okay, for this condition theta 1 is equals to theta 2. By substituting the values of torque, length, G value and J, similarly in second shaft we will get the values. Okay, next in case of torque calculation, T is equals to T1 plus T2. Okay, sum of torque developed in first and second shaft. Okay, it is about the calculation of and formulas of torque and angle of twist developed in compound shaft when it is series and parallel. Okay, now we will solve one example. Here the problem given that a solid stepped shaft ABC is fixed at point A and is subjected to torque at B, that is 880 Newton meter, and torque developed at C, that is 275 Newton meter as shown in figure. Okay, it is the stepped shaft having ABC at fixed end A, at junction B, at free end C. Okay, here they given torque developed at point B and C. Okay, next segment AB has length 1.5 meters and diameter 50 mm. It is the segment A having diameter 50 and length 1.5 meters. Okay, next the segment BC has a length of 1 meter and diameter 30 mm. Having diameter 30 and length is 1 meter. The material is steel with a shear modulus of G 77 gigapascal. The material of both shafts will same, but the variation in diameter only. Okay, next up to we need to note down the given data. Next we need to calculate the maximum shear stress developed in AB. Next the maximum shear stress developed in BC. Next the total angle of twist of shaft AB, C and AC. Okay, it is the in diagram A is the given diagram. From this we need to draw the free body diagram. Okay, here observe at point C the given in clockwise torque. The torque is clockwise. At point B the torque is clockwise, that is TB. At point A it is the resistance torque at point A. Okay, in problem they given torque applied at point B and C. Okay, For calculation of shear stress, we need to calculate the torque at point A. For this, first we need to calculate the polar moment of inertia. Here the polar moment of inertia for shaft AB and BC. Okay, for shaft AB, general formula for polar moment of inertia is pi by 32 d power 4. Here now we are going to calculate polar moment of inertia for shaft AB. So that pi by 32 dAB power 4. Okay, where diameter of the solid shaft AB is 50. By simplifying this equation, we will get the value of polar moment of inertia for shaft AB, that is 613.6 into 10 cube mm power 4. Similarly, in BC, that is 79.52 into 10 power cube millimeter power 4. Okay. Next, now we need to draw the free body diagrams for shaft A and B. Okay, for shaft A, in left side, the total torque developed at point A. Here it is the junction, so that it is the junction of A and B, so that AB and BC, so that it is the junction of BC and it is the C point. So that now we need to calculate torque developed at point A. Here torque developed at A, that means fixed end, it is the resistance torque. So that the amount of whatever the amount of torque applied at point B and C, that equals to torque developed at point A. So that TA is equals to TB plus TC. TB is 880 and TC is 275. So that the total torque developed at point A is 1155 Newton meter. Okay. Now the torque carried in AB and BC are, okay, the torque, whatever the amount of torque developed at point A is equals to torque developed at point B. So that TAB is equals to TA, that equals to double 1 double 5. Similarly, TC is equals to TBC. TC is equals to TBC. Whatever the amount of torque applied at TC is equals to TBC. So that 275 at point C. TA, TC. Next, step 3. The maximum shear stress and angle of twist at segment AB. In required data, they asked maximum shear stress developed at point AB or Q. We know the formula T by J equals to Q by R. Okay. Therefore, from this equation, we are going to calculate the shear stress developed, maximum shear stress developed in the shaft AB, that is TAB into RAB by JAB. We know that radius of the shaft and J, and now just now we calculated the T. By substituting all these values, we will get the value of shear stress, that is 47.06 Newton per millimeter square. Next, angle of twist of segment AB. Therefore, theta AB is equals to theta AB into LAB by JAB into G. Okay. By substituting all these values in this equation, we will get the value of angle of twist in shaft AB, that is 2.16 degrees. Similarly, the maximum shear stress and angle of twist in segment BC, that is substitute torque developed in BC and radius of BC and JBC. All these values in this equation will get the values of maximum shear stress developed in cross section BC. Similarly, theta value. Okay. Next, up to now we calculated angle of twist developed in shaft AB and BC. Now we are going to calculate total angle developed in shaft AB, because it is series condition. So that theta is equals to theta 1 plus theta 2. So that the total angle of twist developed in AC is equals to angle of twist developed in AB plus angle of twist developed in BC. Okay. Therefore, 2.16 degrees developed in theta AB and 2.64 degrees developed in BC. Here the cross section of the shaft BC is lesser compared to AB, so that maximum amount of twist developed in shaft BC. By adding these two angle of twist, we will get the final value of angle of twist developed in AC, that is 4.8 degrees. Okay. Coming to next problem. Here the figure 7.8 shows the horizontal shaft LM subjected to axial twisting moments. Okay. For that we need to determine the end fixing couples in magnitude and direction. Next, the diameter end fixing couples in magnitude and direction. Okay. Next, the diameter of the shaft if the maximum shear stress is not to exceed 80 meganewton per meter square. Next, the position of the section where the shaft suffers no angular twist. Okay. Okay. It is the given shaft. For the shaft, we need to calculate the end fixing couples in magnitude and direction. Okay. What is the amount of twist developed in both ends? Next, similarly, the diameter of the shaft if the minimum shear stress is not to exceed 80 meganewton per meter square. Here in this problem, they are not given the diameter of the shaft. For this, we need to calculate the diameter of the shaft. Next, similarly, the position of the section where the shaft suffers no angular twist. Okay, due to the application of twist at both ends, there is no angular twist will develop. Similarly, at in between the both ends, at one point there is no angular twist develop. That means theta value 0. We need to find out the position from the any end. Okay, it is the given shaft. For the shaft having 3 parts, that is 1, 2, 3 for first section, but equal in diameter. The length of the first shaft is 0.9 meters and second shaft is 0.6 and third shaft is 0.9 meters. For this shaft, we are applying torques at junction of 1, 2 and junction of 2, 3. At junction of 1, 2, we are applying a torque that is 5 kilonewton meter. At junction of 2, 3, we are applying torque 8 kilonewton meter. Okay. For this, first we need to calculate the torque. Let us assume TL is equals to end fixing couples, that means torque developed at L, and Tm is equals to end fixing couple at M. Okay. Based on the given required data, we need to calculate first end fixing couples. So that based on the applied torque, we need to calculate the fixing couples. Here the torque is applied junction of two shafts, so that it is in parallel condition. Already we read this sentence in series shafts in parallel condition. Whenever the torque is applied at the junction of two shafts, when the shaft is in parallel condition. Okay, so that torque on the portion NP is equals to TL. Okay, torque on the portion NP is equals to TL. Therefore, we are applying 5 kilonewton meter. So that equals to, at this point we need to calculate the torque on the portion. So that TL minus T1. Okay, can be written as TL minus T1. T1 is 5. So that torque on the portion developed NP. Similarly, torque on the portion PM. So that it can be written as TL minus 5, TL minus T1 minus T2, because we are calculating the torque at point M, it means PM. We need to calculate consider these three couples, so that TL is anticlockwise, T1 and T2 are the both are clockwise, so that we are assuming the TL as the positive and T1 and T2 as the clockwise, so that it is taken as negative, so that TL minus 5 minus 8, so that final torque on the portion PM is TL minus 13, so that we know that total angle of twist between land, that is M is equals to theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta, okay, because here both ends are fixed, so that at both ends the angle of twist is 0, okay, so that the total angle of twist is equals to 0. Angle of twist developed in first order, that is TL L1 by GJ, okay. Next, angle of twist developed in second shaft and angle of twist developed in third shaft. Again we substitute all these values. By simplifying this equation, we will get the value of torque developed at L is equals to 6.125 kilonewton meter. Okay, by substituting this value in Tm, we will get the value of Tm is minus 6.875 kilonewton meter. Okay, this is the angle of twist developed at both ends. This is also known as end couples. Okay, next, twist moment in the portion NB is equals to 6.125 minus 5, so that angle of twist developed is 1.125 kilonewton meter. Therefore, magnet twisting moment is 6.875. By comparing all these values, here at point L, the angle of twist we just now calculate 6.125. At point M is minus 6.875 because it is in opposite direction. It is also considered as positive. Next, angle of twist developed in N and P is 5 and 8. Okay. So that finally the maximum twisting moment is developed at portion NP, that is 6.875 at point M. Next, diameter of the shaft, maximum shear stress they given as Q, that is 80 Newton per millimeter square. From torsion equation, T by J equals to Q by R. By using this formula, we can calculate the value of diameter. Okay, T is equals to Q into pi by 16 dq. By substituting the value of Q in this equation, we will get the value of D. Here already we taken T is maximum, that is 6.875. Because here maximum shear stress is down, so that we have to consider the maximum twisting moment. Okay. Next, position of the section for no angular twist. Here at angular twist at point N is theta N is equals to TL L1 by GJ. Just now we calculated 6.125 at TL, so that by substituting all these values we will get the value at theta N and theta P. Okay. Here theta N is directly proportional to 6.125 and theta P is 6.875. Okay, by comparing this, the maximum angular twist is developed at point P. Okay, by using these values, okay, first torque distribution at point M is maximum, that is minus, so that you can draw downward below the baseline up to from M to P the same value. At point B, because the applied load 8, it will change 1.125. From here to here there is no torque intermediate torque, and again here we apply some torque, that is 5, that is 5 plus 1.125, that is 6.15, so that it is the maximum torque developed at point A. Okay, similarly angular twist at point M0. At point P, the angle of twist is 6.125. Next at point N is 6.875. Here 6.875 is minus, so that it is placed and below the baseline. At point N it is a positive value, so that it is taken as positive. At point similarly L is 0. At one point the angle of twist is 0. We need to calculate the distance from L to S. The distance is 1.182 meters from the point L. Okay. The position of the section where the angle of twist is 0 by calculating this manner. X equals to 0.9 plus 0.9 plus we need to calculate this distance. Okay. So that 0.6 into 6.125 by 6.125 plus 6.875. Okay, by this you can calculate the value of X, that is 1.182 meters from the left end L. Okay, like this you need to calculate the position of the angle of twist is 0 in between the both fixed ends. Okay, thanks for watching.